welcome to the Box of Delights game channel. We're playing Arkham Horror. Lodge member held for questioning. Right, we've got a gate opening here at the Black Cave, which is just here, over in Rivertown. So let's grab one of our gates. And it is Lost Corcosa. There's a clue token here which we now remove. And Lost Corcosa is one of these other worlds introduced by the Dunwich Horror expansion. It's quite a tough one too. Let's draw ourselves a monster. And it is Chthonian. Oh dear. It's in Arkham as well, so the Black Cave. So it's going to use up one of our monster limits. We must remember to add one token to this Doom track. Next then we have a clue appearing at Hibbs Roadhouse, which we know is up here. Now monster movement, we have circles, squares and diamonds, which means our elder thing is going to move from the Independence Square to the downtown streets. None of our other monsters have the right symbols, but we do have this Bayeki in the sky with a circle, so it would move, except there aren't any investigators in any street locations, so he's just going to stay there in the sky until the opportunity arises for him to come down and attack. Finally then we get to read the headline. Lodge member held for questioning. A Silver Lodge ritual lets two monsters loose in the French Hill streets. So we need to grab two monsters. The first one is going to go in the French Hill streets. And it's going to grab the last of our monster limits. And it's a Dark Young. And the second monster we draw is going to exceed our monster limit. So this monster is not going to go here. Instead, he's going to go outside the city into the outskirts. So that's what you need to remember. Anytime you would add a monster to take you over the monster limit, you instead add it to the outskirts. Remember though, any monsters arriving in the town of Dunwich do not contribute towards the monster limit. Okay? The outskirts themselves have a limit, and I'm sure we're going to hit it at some point, and I'll explain that to you when the time comes. So we end our turn. First turn marker goes from Jacqueline back to Ashcan. Now Ashcan is all out of money and all out of clues, so we've got to do something about this. Right, upkeep phase. I'm going to move my fight down to 4, my will up to 3. Keep my speed at 3. And for Jacqueline, well, she's got loads of clues. But remember, her sneak's not good. This elder thing's guarding the downtown streets, so Independence Square is going to look tricky to get to. Maybe I could sneak past the Chthonian. That's 3 movement away. So I can afford to drop my speed down to 3, get my sneak up to 1. I've got another idea too. Let's put my law up from 4 to 5. And what I'm going to do now is cast a spell. And the spell I've chosen to play is this Bless spell. And it says that I can cast it during my upkeep phase. You may cast and discard, choose one investigator, even yourself, and that investigator is blessed. Now to cast a spell, the first thing you need to do is pay its sanity cost, which is 2 here. So to pay the sanity cost, you simply remove that number of sanity. If your sanity ever reaches 0, then you go insane, you lose half your items, and you get sent to the Arkham Asylum. So casting spells is kind of, it's a bit of a drain on your mind. If you go insane, not only do you lose half your items, you lose half your clues, and you end up back in the asylum. The next thing to look at is the casting modifier. Casting a spell successfully is a skill check against law, and this is the casting modifier. So this will be a law -1 skill check. Jacqueline now has a law of 5, so law -1 is 4. So Jacqueline's going to roll 4 dice to successfully cast this spell. Remember, I'm still looking for 5s or 6s. Alright, I've got 2 successes there. Okay. Having successfully cast the Bless spell, Jacqueline can now choose to bless herself. And this spell card gets discarded. Let's discard this spell. And we get to take a blessing card. And a blessing is really good for us. What it says is, when rolling your dice, remember we normally need a 5 or a 6 for a success. If you're blessed, you also get a success on a roll of a 4. The downside is this isn't an infinite blessing. Every upkeep phase you need to roll a die and discard this card on a 1, it says. We don't have to do it on the first turn we get the blessing, so we're not going to do that right now, but next upkeep phase we will need to roll to see if we lose the blessing or not. Movement phase now. It's quite a tough one actually for Ashcan, because I was thinking maybe to go up to the train station, but you need money. I think you need to pay $1 to get a train ticket, and then you can get over to Dunwich. The thing is, I was thinking of heading down to the Science Building. There's a clue there, but also, instead of having an encounter here, you can spend a gate trophy to gain 2 clue tokens, so I could pick up 3 clues by going to the Science Building. The problem is this Gug's still standing in the way with its -2. I could fight it, I suppose, and show you how fighting works. Alright, let's do that. Let's try and sneak past, evade this Gug and head to the Science Building. So we've got a speed of 3, so we get 3 movement. 1, 2, and as we try and leave, we have to try and evade this Gug. Now remember, we've got our Pallid Mask giving us +2. We've got a sneak of 3, that's 5, -2 from the Gug. We've got to do that 3 dice check again. Let's see how we do. Alright, we got 2 successes, so we did manage to sneak past and evade the Gug. And we made it to the Science Building. As for Jacqueline here, well, she's got a ton of clues. And we know with her 3 speed, she can head across here. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to try and evade the Chthonian here. Now she's only got a sneak of 1, so that's only 1 die to try this evade check, but the Chthonian, he's easy to sneak by. He gives you +1 already, so that's 2 dice. Let's see if she can pull it off. Alright. Dice are looking good for us. That's a success. And now we can think about our encounters. So, Ashcan, we know he's not going to have an encounter here. He's going to spend his gate trophy. And of course, for ending his movement here, he should have taken this clue anyway. So we're going to discard this gate trophy, and this will go back to the pile, ready to be recycled. And we'll get 2 more clues. As for Jacqueline here, she's going to get drawn through this open gate, Lost Corcosa, which is the other world location up here. And in Lost Corcosa, our other world encounters will be blue and yellow. So let's draw. We're looking for blue and yellow. Okay, it's yellow. Lost Corcosa. Right, this card, and it's from the Dunwich expansion, it has an encounter for this named other world, Lost Corcosa. You walk around the shores of Lake Harley, seeking to reach the distant and shrouded city that sits there. However, no matter how far you walk, it always remains on the far side of the lake. Stay here next turn. It looks like Jacqueline's wandered into some kind of dream. I'm going to tip Jacqueline's token onto its side to remind me that she's to remain here next turn. So I'll discard this one and we draw a Mythos card. And it's an environment card. And it's called Solar Eclipse. So it will replace our earlier environment card, the Chill of the Grave. A gate appears at the graveyard. So let's draw gates. It's the Dreamy Lands. Place it here at the graveyard, lose that clue. Add one more token to the Doom track. Gosh, it's going up quickly. And let's draw a monster. And we get a Maniac. Now, there's already 5 monsters in Arkham, so this Maniac goes to the outskirts. There's 2 in there now. The outskirts limit is actually 8 minus the number of players, so for us, that's 6. If the number of monsters here ever exceeds 6, then we increase the terror level by 1, which is over here. And all monsters that were in the outskirts go back to the cup. Next, a clue appears at the Unvisited Isle, which is up here. Monster movement now, squares, diamonds, circles. We know our Bayaki in the sky will move if there were an investigator in the streets, but there isn't. As for all the rest of our monsters, we have a slash, hexagon, triangle, diamond. And diamond was on white. So our elder thing is going to follow the white arrow from downtown to East Town, which is kind of nice because that clears the way into Independence Square now. And now we have this environment card which stays in play, and I'll discard this other one, which says, due to the interference of the solar eclipse, no spells may be cast. So we'll discard this Chill of the Grave now. Right. Next turn.